I'm here with the Association of African Universities Television, AUTV. I just want to say that without the media, you won't know what's going on in the world. Even with the media, you sometimes don't know what's going on in the world. So you need to tune in to the reliable sources who are really on the front lines, who can give you the information you need and give you facts, not conjecture, give you real news, not fake news. And this is the place to find it, AUTV.
The voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
African Morning Show coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities, and we begin with the top African news. My name is Philemon Edwards. In our first story, a leading African scientist is gaining global recognition for advancing research on infectious diseases and shaping health policy. Abdoulaye Jimde, based in Mali, has been appointed to the United Nations Secretary General's Scientific Advisory Board. The appointment highlights growing contributions from African researchers to global science. His work focuses on genomics and malaria drug resistance, helping to improve treatment strategies and disease control. Through research, mentorship, and policy engagement, he is strengthening Africa's role in addressing global health challenges.
Professor Abdoulaye Jimde is leading groundbreaking work in genomics and infectious diseases. He heads the Parasites and Microbes Research and Training Center at the University of Sciences, Techniques and Technologies of Bamako. His research has significantly improved the understanding of malaria drug resistance across Africa. By identifying genetic markers, his work has helped guide treatment strategies and save lives. Professor Jimde has now been appointed to the United Nations Secretary General's Scientific Advisory Board. He described the appointment as a significant honor and an opportunity to contribute to global scientific discussions. He explained that the platform allows diverse expertise to address key issues in innovation, public health, and development. He emphasized the importance of including African perspectives in global decision-making processes. His research focuses on genomics, the study of genetic information that determines how organisms develop and spread diseases. He noted that genomic science has become essential in diagnosing and managing infectious diseases such as Ebola, COVID-19, and influenza. He added that combining genomics with traditional methods has improved how scientists track and control disease outbreaks. Beyond research, Professor Jimde is mentoring the next generation of African scientists through initiatives such as Deltas Africa. He stressed that investing in young scientists is critical to building strong research systems across the continent. He also highlighted the need for greater investment by African governments to support scientific innovation. He concluded that African scientists must take the lead in addressing diseases affecting their populations, using local knowledge and global collaboration to drive solutions.
A South African opposition leader has been sentenced to prison following a firearms conviction. A court in South Africa handed Julius Malema a 5-year sentence after being found guilty of illegal possession and discharge of a firearm. The ruling was delivered recently in Kugumpo City, formerly East London, over a 2018 incident. The case has raised questions about political accountability and legal consequences for public figures. However, the court allowed an appeal, meaning the sentence will not take immediate effect while legal processes continue. South African opposition leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Julius Malema, was found guilty of illegally possessing a firearm and discharging it in public. The charges relate to a 2018 incident during his party's anniversary celebration in the Eastern Cape. A video at the time showed Malema firing a semi-automatic rifle into the air. The court ruled that the act was not impulsive but a deliberate part of the event. Despite the sentence, the court granted Malema the right to appeal. This means he will not be taken into custody immediately as the legal process continues. If the sentence is upheld, he could lose his position as a member of parliament and be disqualified from holding office for several years. Outside the court, Malema addressed supporters alleging that the case was part of a broader effort to silence him. He stated that attempts to suppress his voice would not succeed and reaffirmed his commitment to his political cause. Hundreds of supporters gathered at the court, chanting and singing in solidarity. Political analysts say the appeal process could take years, allowing Malema to remain active in politics for now. The case was initiated by AfriForum after the video of the incident surfaced. Meanwhile, reactions across the political landscape remain divided, with some calling for accountability and others expressing concern over potential political targeting. The case continues to draw national attention, highlighting tensions around law, politics, and public conduct in South Africa. A new Africa-Europe research initiative has been launched to tackle neglected infectious diseases, including Mpox and Lassa fever. The program was announced on April 16, 2026, through a partnership between the African Research Universities Alliance and the Guild of European Research Initiatives Intensive Universities, with support from Enabel. The initiative will be implemented across African and European institutions, aiming to address long-standing gaps in funding and research. It seeks to translate scientific findings into practical solutions such as vaccines, diagnostics, and policy tools. The program will support African-led research through training, mobility, and collaboration across institutions.
A new Africa-Europe research initiative has been launched to tackle some of the continent's most neglected infectious diseases. The program focuses on Mpox and Lassa fever, two diseases that have historically received limited funding despite their impact. The initiative is a collaboration between the African Research University Alliance and the Guild of European Research Intensive Universities, with support from Enable. It will be coordinated by UC Louvain, with technical support from the African Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The program takes the form of a pilot mobility scheme, offering short research residencies for selected scientists. 7 early and mid-career researchers from across Africa have been selected to participate. Their expertise span virology, immunology, clinical research, and public health policy. The initiative aims to bridge the gap between laboratory discoveries and real-world health solutions. This includes developing vaccines, improving diagnostics, and strengthening policy frameworks. And medical experts noted that diseases such as Mpox and Lassa fever have been underfunded for decades and require urgent attention. The program places African researchers at the center of innovation, promoting locally driven solutions to health challenges. Participants will work across leading universities in Africa and Europe, gaining hands-on experience in product development and clinical research. The initiative is part of a broader Africa-Europe collaboration framework designed to strengthen research capacity and innovation. It also seeks to promote equitable partnerships and ensure that African institutions play a leading role in addressing the continent's health challenges. The program is expected to run until May 2026, with outcomes aimed at improving scientific knowledge and public health response systems.
Ghana Health Service has confirmed 4 new Mpox cases, bringing the total to 1,062 as of April 11, 2026 in Ghana. The update comes amid ongoing nationwide surveillance efforts across all 16 regions. Health authorities say the new cases are less severe, with no hospital admissions recorded, and the death toll remains at 8. Officials are urging continuing caution to prevent further spread, as the virus is transmitted through close physical contact and contaminated surfaces.
Ghana has recorded 4 new cases of Mpox, pushing the country's total infection to over 1,000. The update was confirmed by the Ghana Health Services as of April 11, 2026. Health officials say the latest cases have not resulted in any hospital admissions. They also confirmed that the national death toll remains unchanged at 8. Authorities say surveillance is ongoing across all 16 regions. Health authorities are actively monitoring the situation to prevent further spread of the virus. Officials noted that while recent cases appear less severe, the public must remain cautious. Mpox is a viral disease spread mainly through close physical contact. This includes exposure to body fluids, skin lesions, respiratory droplets, and contaminated surfaces. Common symptoms include fever, swollen lymph nodes, and painful rash, which may leave lasting scars. Health authorities are advising the public to avoid contact with individuals showing unusual rashes. They also recommended strict personal hygiene and early medical attention when flu-like symptoms appear. Frequent hand washing, the use of sanitizers, and wearing face masks have been highlighted as key preventive measures. Across the continent, the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has reported thousands of suspected cases and hundreds of deaths. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization continues to stress the importance of vigilance as vaccination efforts target high-risk populations. Health officials say sustained public awareness remains critical in controlling the spread of the disease.
Nigeria's National Service Corps is increasingly equipping graduates with entrepreneurial skills through skills acquisition and entrepreneurship development program. The initiative is being implemented across orientation camps nationwide as part of the service year. It aims to address rising youth unemployment and the gap between academic training and job market demands. By providing free vocational training, mentorship, and access to funding opportunities, the program is helping young graduates transition from job seekers to business owners.
Nigeria's National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, is transforming how graduates prepare for the job market through its skills acquisition and entrepreneurship development program. Known as SIDE, Corps members are gaining practical skills beyond the classroom. For many participants, the experience is opening new career paths. One Corps member explained that after attending agricultural training, she identified a business opportunity in sourcing and selling potatoes in areas where they were scarce. She indicated that the training helped her recognize market gaps and turn them into viable business ideas. Another participant, serving in Adamawa State, said the program gave her the opportunity to learn shoe and bag making at no cost. She explained that financial and time constraints had previously prevented her from acquiring the skill. She added that the training has now inspired her to further develop her craft. The initiative reflects a broader shift within the NYSC, which was originally established to promote national unity. Since its introduction in 2012, SIDE has trained millions of graduates in areas such as agriculture, ICT, fashion, and renewable energy. The program aims to address the growing challenge of unemployment, as hundreds of thousands of graduates enter Nigeria's labor market each year. Partnerships with institutions such as Unity Bank are developing financial support to promising business ideas. Participants say while the program is valuable, more emphasis is needed on practical and training access to startup funding. Experts note that with stronger support and investment, the initiative could play a crucial role in building a generation of entrepreneurs. For many young Nigerians, the program is not just a training opportunity, but a pathway to economic independence.
wondered what drives ordinary people to do extraordinary things? Every week, a new story unfolds. But these aren't just stories. They are the journeys of courage, resilience, and vision. On Impact Stories, we open the door to remarkable personalities and everyday heroes. Experience the passion behind their purpose. Witness the setbacks, the breakthroughs, and the moment that defines a legacy. Journey with us on AAU TV every Saturday at 4 p.m. as we celebrate those who are making an impact. Tune in to Impact Stories, where real people share real journeys and real impact, each one leaving behind a legacy written in gold. Only on AAU TV.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with AAU TV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAU TV. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. AAU TV reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch AAU TV free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAU TV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Hiya, this is Hello Africa. Keep watching AAU TV. Ciao.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
Welcome back from that break, and you're still watching the Hello Africa Morning Show coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities. If you just tune in, we are done with the top African news and we're just getting into the news review. My name is Philemon Edwards, and today I'm doing this with...
And I am Isabella Sete Ahenakwa.
Bella, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
It's been a minute.
No, it's been a while. It's been a very long while. I know. Myself, I miss myself.
You have missed the set.
Yes, I miss myself in the set. So
It's
I'm
good
happy
have
to
you.
be here. Yeah, myself.
Anyway, so we'll get into the first story today. And a professor at the University of Cape Coast has unveiled a handheld device capable of detecting unsafe food within seconds, marking a significant step in strengthening food safety systems in Ghana. Ernest Tay, an agri-food integrity engineering expert, led the development of the device, which uses near-infrared spectroscopy to analyze the chemical composition of food without destroying samples. The technology scans food items for harmful substances such as toxins, chemicals, and adulterants, and instantly compares results with an inbuilt database to determine safety. The results are displayed on a connected screen or mobile application. Speaking at his inaugural lecture, Professor Tay described the innovation as a potential game changer for regulators, farmers, and consumers, enabling early detection of unsafe food and reducing health risk. He also called for the establishment of a national food integrity framework, warning that food fraud, defined as a deliberate alteration or misrepresentation of food for economic gain, remains a hidden threat to public health. The initiative forms part of broader plans to establish an Afri-Food Integrity Center at UCC to advance research, training, and policy development in food safety and agricultural innovation. Very beautiful story here, Bella.
Yeah.
I've always spoken about how much we are not doing a lot of inventions, and we are not being innovative in Africa, and we are always relying on the West for many things.
Innovations.
So first of all, I'm just excited about this from Professor Tay to be able to come up with a device that can help with regards to food safety in the country.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what you make of it before we get into the other details of this.
Well, just as you said, I'm also happy about this invention or innovation because there are lots of challenges in Africa, but the solutions or the innovations to address them are quite limited. And I must say, this is not about the skills, and this is not about we don't have the knowledge. We have it, but there are some challenges that are preventing us from, coming out with the results. And so seeing this from the lab, seeing this from the research, and then the results being in the market is a very bold step, I must say, and very, very good to see that, some research findings are coming out to the market, and not just coming out to the market, but also addressing critical issue. Currently, this is one big issue that we are facing, not just in Ghana, but Africa. You go on TikTok and people are talking about food they bought, and it's lasted for a very long time, which is weird. Natural food shouldn't last for a very long time, but it can be there lying on the shelf for like months, 6 months in whole, and without nothing. So having this in the market is a very good initiative, and we all need to support it. I'm happy it is coming up from the lab to the market, and we need more support to ensure that it is scalable for people, not just the government, but consumers to have access to it among others. So that is my concern, or that is what I can say about it before we move into the discussion.
What your initial submission reminded me of something somebody just told me recently. I think it's one of our colleagues that said that where he bought bread from one of these countries, and the bread has been there for more than
months,
2 weeks. And he actually forgot and left the bread in his bag. But the bread didn't go bad. You and I know how bread
within days, like 3-4 days, it starts getting
bad. But
molten.
it's more than 2 weeks. The bread hasn't gone bad. And his investigation shows that they use, is it formalin or something? This thing is used for dead bodies. They have applied it over the bread or something of the sort.
To last long.
And
makes it look fresh.
people still eat and it gets into their body. So you can imagine what these things can do. But anyway,
But
that's why.
even talking about bread, this is a finished goods. I mean,
Yeah.
a finished product. And
Well,
this
yeah.
this device is looking at the beginning. I mean,
Yes.
even before the food will get to the market, we
Yeah.
have to scan to know whether there is some toxins, whether there is some, chemicals in it that is going to affect people in there. So now we are looking at the challenge for right from the beginning, even before it
Before
goes
it
out
even
for
gets on the
people
market,
to-
which is
yeah.
a brilliant
Yeah,
thing,
it
actually.
is.
So, into details, I'm just glad to know that the infrared spectroscopy is a globally recognized
yeah.
method that is used to analyze food.
Yeah.
So, for the fact that this is a globally recognized technology, which Professor Che has, jumped onto and then he's using for this device, I'm just interested and happy to know about it because we have talked about how much we lag behind when it comes to innovation and research and other things of this nature. So for him to be able to make use of one of the best technologies for this, that's the number one point for me.
Yeah.
And then these things are also used in places like the United States
Yeah.
and across Europe.
US.
So for me, it's a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
And most importantly, the speed at which you can determine
The feature.
Yes. So it leaves the margin for error to be very, very, very small because I believe in every step of the way through the process of getting food onto the shelves eventually. From the beginning, like you said, we can be able to see through the processes
Very true.
and be able to, for the lack of a better word, investigate at every point
Yeah.
how far
Yeah.
or how well this
Yeah.
product is and what the constituents are, toxins and whatever. So that's the biggest highlight for me.
Myself, the feature, it makes it very fast, fast to use, very easy to use, and how portable it is. I mean, it's not a
Exactly,
very
yeah,
huge device
yeah.
that will need a lot of
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
managing it. And
yeah.
we know that most of our food, it goes through regulations, it goes through checks, it goes through a whole lot of, inspections and all that.
Yeah.
But it takes a very long time. And I'm sure that is the main reason why people do not want to go through this, very long because before the food will even get to us, there may be some spoilage and all that. So having this, I think, so far as it is going to just scan and then do some comparison on on our laptop or on the screen to see what is on it. Recently, I know that people use wax to rub on apples to make it last very long. So imagine this scanning on. Of course, it's going to detect that there is something unsafe on the product.
No wonder the apples
and it's
look
not just
shiny.
people use wax on the apple to make it look So I know someone, the fruit itself, the skin gives the fiber. So I know someone who always peels off apple before eating,
before they
and
eat
that
it.
is the person lacking some fiber due to
because of what people
she's
do.
seen. And this is it's not healthy. I mean, we've been advised by the doctors to eat vegetables, to eat fruits, to eat this natural food compared to the canned food and processed food. But these are the same food that is also killing us. You go to the farm and they use substance that, if I mention the name, you'll be like, what? They call this substance poison just to, grow more yields. Not forgetting about our health, forgetting about the future, forgetting about the things they are selling to us. I mean, causing a lot of death. You see a very young child dying of a huge disease that you...
Lately, there are results of many things like that when it comes to health. Because children are even born with a lot of things, and it's some of this as a result of...
You think about it and you're like, how? And these are our farmers killing us. Forgive me to say, but this is the truth. I mean, so there's a video for us to watch. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
So the food oracle, what should be our take home? If we really want to save our health, we really want to reduce the cost, we need to look at food oracle. We should not lose sight that the soil is where we came from. We'll go back. It should be healthy. We should examine what is there, put in the right nutrient, grow the food well. And if you do that, we should also be mindful of input like fertilizer and seeds. We shouldn't just give it to anybody. If I have my own way, I'll institute a law that seed fertilizer should not be in the hands of anybody. Maybe it should be in the hands of an institution, because any seed you put in the soil holds the future of somebody and holds the health of somebody. So if you don't put in any well, it's going to destroy our lives. And we should have what we call the on-site detection of this integrity, and it will go a long way to increase our yield. And at retirement, you can go into farming. If you are getting, say, growing rice, and you are getting 7 tons, can you imagine tomato yield? China and others, US and others are getting 90, 120. Ghana, we are getting less than, I think, 15. It's so sad that somebody growing the same crop in another part is getting so much, and we growing it here. And we, again, like I said, we contribute 60% of the arable land. Why are we getting lower yield? The issue is that we need to look at Food Oracle in ensuring integrity, quality from soil to table. We shouldn't leave it in the hands. You can leave football in the hands of people. You can leave maybe even health in the hands of people. But food production, we all eat food like medicine. Therefore, we need to be very, very, very careful when we are growing food and when we are harvesting food and when we are eating food. In that regard, it will help us.
All right, and so that was Professor Ernest Day from the inaugural lessons telling us the importance of Food Oracle and not really leaving it in the hands of individuals but institutions. I mean, that is what he thinks, that for people to go into farming, starting from the soil, institutions needs to inspect the soil, ensure that it is healthy to, ensure that, we get more yields. Talking about soil and then the input, have you realized that, initially or then times when you go for vegetables, among others, even at your backyard, you can just throw the seeds and then it starts germinating and grow. You can have fresh tomatoes, fresh pepper from your backyard. Phil, currently, that does not happen anymore. I'm talking about because you talked about seeds.
You're about the third person I'm hearing this from.
It doesn't happen anymore. I like plants a lot. I like, planting. I like flowers among others. So I've tried several times to, plant tomatoes at my small pot. It starts germinating and then dies. So I was like, okay, is it the soil? And then one day I said, let me look at the seed. You try it when you get home. Try it. You open the tomatoes, you look at the seeds. There is no more seeds in the tomato. Like it's very flat. It's so flat that you can't see whether there is nutrients in it to even germinate. There's no seed. So now, if you want to go into farming, if you want to, build, germinate or plant something in your backyard, you have to go and get the proper seed.
It means the quality of seeds are being affected.
And yes, that alone too, you need to get some skills, some other,
it looks like a long process
to mix with it.
So things that could have come to us easily.
Yeah.
Because back then you could just throw seeds.
Yeah.
Even without the intention that you were planting. But because you just threw them on your backyard,
germinates,
naturally it will germinate. I've seen that thing a few times in my life where we did that. There was tomato seeds in water. We just threw it on in the compound somewhere. It was not the intention to, grow tomatoes. But eventually, when it started growing, then we started taking care of it. And eventually we got some tomatoes out of that. This is like 3 years ago. Okay.
Now
but
it doesn't.
I haven't noticed this.
It doesn't happen anymore. So now, if you want to plant, you have to go get the seeds separately, and that tells us that a lot is going on. How come I'll go and buy something from the market, not even processed food,
natural fresh food?
Yes, I'll go and buy it from the market, and I can't plant it by myself at home. I'll have to go and get the seed. Are they telling us that now nobody can go into farming, or if you would have to go into farming, this person is specialized in seed production, this person is specialized in, it's all about the fertilizers, the poisons, the toxins that they incorporate in the planting, in the soil, claiming to have more yields, and the end result is having a fruit with no seed, having a fruit with means half seed.
This is not good. This is very, very
and we are
alarming.
talking about exporting. We are talking about
nobody will be interested in business like this.
Yeah.
Nobody will be interested in business like this.
This device is well known in other countries. In Ghana, we export some of our foodstuffs to, yam, cocoa, tomatoes, among others. Although we import, we also export some of our foodstuffs. So imagine our foodstuff getting to a developed country, they scan and they're like, no, there's something wrong with it. We can't consume it. That we are lacking. Our economy is going to go down due to this.
This is alarming. I just pray and hope that institutions or bodies responsible for some of these checks or quality assurances when it comes to agric will do their jobs. One of the things I'm also interested in is, as part of this story, is the hidden economy of what we call food fraud. Food fraud, and we have seen that in the context of in Ghana, where you go to the market to buy palm oil, and I understand now it's not a proper palm oil.
It's
that
not
you get.
oil. They mix it with is it Sudan,
Sudan or
they
something
call it
like that.
Sudi, but
Sudan.
there's Sudan dye to make it look so appealing.
Why are human
very
beings
red
this
for
wicked?
you. Mhm.
Is this all for the sake of making gains or making profits?
Yeah, it is to gain a lot of profit and also to get access to the market. I mean, imagine having two oil here. One looks a bit yellowish, orange, and then one looks red. I mean, as a consumer, you go for the red because we know palm oil is red. Yeah, exactly. So you go for it. And as they are mixing it, it increases the quantity. So instead of getting one bottle, she will get 2 bottles.
Oh
and
my
so
God.
it is for profit and also to gain the interest of consumers. And I'm happy. Recently, I learned about a lot of people have been arrested in Koforidua for doing that.
Oh, they should be.
Yes, they have been
because
arrested. And
this
it's
is
been going
killing
on for a very long time.
This
so,
is killing people.
Yeah.
You see, I'm not surprised that people go to hospitals now, and then before you hear it, they have died over a short period of time, and sometimes the doctors are even unable to diagnose what exactly the person is sick of. These are the kinds of things that are responsible for this, because we buy all sorts of things from the market. In our minds, we have bought the right things, and we go home to consume them, and then this is the end of it. I've also heard about issues of contaminated fish and then meat products.
Yeah.
If meat is contaminated or is throw it away. Look, I respect the fact that you may have invested some money in purchasing it or whatever. Like, I get all of that. But it is also your responsibility to take care of these things. You see, sometimes I can understand when, I remember back then when there was a lot of lights out, what we call Dumso in Ghana, where poultry, people who run cold stores, frozen foods, kept saying how much it was affecting their business, and then they were losing their stock and things like that. I appreciate that. So it is the reason I feel like we need to invest in these places. As a country, we need to make sure we have enough power to support these kinds of businesses. Beyond that, as a business owner, you should know the kind of business that you are into so that you are able to support your business and make sure it is running. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if business owners think about the fact that, okay, if I came here to buy meat or fish, and I went home and I saw that it's not edible. I don't know if they think about the fact that I'm not going to come back. And I'm one person. I could tell the next 10 people, the next 20 people. And that's how you will lose business. I don't know if people think about these things in that way. Like, I don't know.
They think about it, but let me be the devil's advocate here. So let me ask you this question. I mean, you said if the food is contaminated, the best thing is to throw it away, right? But we keep saying we should add values to our things. So I'm just saying, I'm not in support of it.
No, I see what he's doing, though. But I
what
understand.
if maybe the food is okay? Well, it's not good.
No, let's go. Let's go. I see where he's going. So for me, what you're saying makes sense.
Okay.
If I can add value to it,
that makes it edible.
That makes it edible, and it will
healthy.
not go bad.
Yeah.
Because we have natural preservatives.
Yeah.
Especially in our local context.
Salt,
I don't know about Europe and America, but we have a lot of local preservatives. So if we think that we can use that process, let's commercialize these processes too and have some of these products in that order. That way, either ways, you are not losing as a business person. Because I know, first of all, most people are thinking about the business aspects first before livelihoods, and then all of these things where whether we are doing the right thing, because people are thinking about the money first before any moral conduct or anything of the sort. That's how people are looking at it.
Now, before we move to the next story, there's one interesting part we are forgetting to touch on, which is the incorporation of artificial intelligence.
Great.
And I'm talking about this in terms of the youth engagement in agriculture. I think last week, yourself and Jemima, you were talking about how the young people we look at when we say agriculture is about going to read, it's about going to suffer on the field, among others. But here is another, aspect of agriculture. We have a lot of people going into artificial intelligence, IT, research, among others. So the young people can look at some of the challenges out there in terms of agriculture. When we say agric, it's not you just going to the farm. You can develop an invention, you can develop an innovation. Even if you don't have the capital to develop it, you can do research, have the idea, sell it to an investor. So far as it is meeting the needs, all the investors, what they want is it should be able to get to the market and address a challenge. So far as as it is meeting the needs, I mean, you're going to get the capital to scale it up and then develop something. So to the young people out there, when we talk about agric, this is a great opportunity. The artificial intelligence we are learning, the IT, the engineering, among others. You can look at some, you know, some hidden opportunity out there and then grab it up as soon as possible.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So moving on to the next story, which is also in the field of education. Now, the Ghana Education Service has issued a stern directive warning teachers, particularly newly recruited staff, against absenteeism and unauthorized media engagement during official school hours. In a statement signed by Acting Deputy Director General Dr. Munawaru Ishahik, the service expressed concern over what is described as a growing trend of teachers leaving their posts to report to the GES headquarters from unrecognized groups or engage the media with following established administrative procedures. GES emphasized that all grievances must be channeled through head of schools, district, and regional directorates in line with its code of conduct. It further warned that any teacher found absent from duty for such actions would face disciplinary measures. However, the directive has sparked criticism from the minority in Parliament. Minority Leader Alexandra Afenyo-Markin has described the move as unconstitutional, arguing that it undermines teachers' fundamental rights to protest and picket. He has called on the Minister of Education, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, to brief Parliament and address the concerns, including delays in financial clearance for teacher recruitment, which he says continues to affect many trained educators. And so this is from the Ghana Education Service, kind of signaling teachers who left their posts to go demonstrate at the headquarters of the GES based on frustration, based on, you know, working for so many months. I don't want to say years, for so many months without being paid. And I mean, they woke up one morning so frustrated. They went in as a group to, you know, go and express their anger, their grievances. And they're like, hey, you left the school to go and express your grievances. But, you know, I think both, let me say this, we have, these are two public interests, right? We are talking about professionalism, we are talking about code of conduct, and we're also talking about human rights. They are all, I mean, they all have their claims, they are all right in their own spaces. But I know for sure we have human rights, we have freedom of engagement, we have freedom of coming together. You know, you are free to form an association, you are free to, you know, go on demonstration, go on strike, among others. But the issue is the time and then the manner. I mean, you may have the right to speak, but I can't go and stand somewhere and say something about someone because I have the right or the freedom to speech. I can be accused or I can be sued if I defame someone. Do you get what I'm saying? So you have the right to go on demonstration. You have the right to form an association, to go on strike. But the time and manner, the manner of it is what brings issues. And there you will be held accountable for it.
I will take your shoes now as the devil's advocate in this matter.
Okay.
So, I'm thinking about this. So if we are talking about the time factor, first of all, which is one of the reasons that this caution is coming or warning or whatever it is coming up. Here's the deal for me. At what point are the aggrieved teachers supposed to go to the GES to go and picket or do whatever they demonstrate or whatever?
Okay.
I'm asking that because
what time?
At what time? Because realistically, even if my lunch break is 1 hour, that's not possible to do that.
Oh, okay. If I talk about the time, it doesn't mean like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 6 p.m.
So
okay, so the time can be the duration.
They're talking about working hours.
Yes.
So basically they have left school when they are supposed to be teaching school children.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying, that even if I'm supposed to do this within lunch break, that 1 hour is not enough to do that. We know how demonstrations are. We know how picketing is. So 1 hour is not enough. Secondly, if I say that I have to wait for school to close, am I sure that the GES office will be open by the time I still get there? So I want to be realistic
Okay.
or
So
practical
okay, I
about
get
these
you.
things.
Yeah, I
Okay?
get you. Once
Sometimes-
again,
Okay, you go.
Once again, the time is not about whether evening time or afternoon or morning
But it's
or
about
the
leaving
time.
the children in
It's
the classroom.
about the I don't know how to say it, but let's say so now GES is saying that if you have a problem like this, right, this is the rule or this is the process to go about. You
Okay.
go, so this is also the time I'm talking about. You go to the head of school. If it doesn't work, you go to maybe the assemblies. If it doesn't work, before you go to GES, and then there is a step. So before it will get to the right time, it is agreed that hey, you
Okay.
came to us, it didn't work. Now even you are going to get the support of the head school to be part of the people going to maybe the assemblies, and if it doesn't work, then he also joins. So you realize that before even you go to the headquarters of GES, it is an approved time, it is an agreed time, even from your supervisor right in the school you were with to wherever it ends, then you all move to. So the time I'm talking about is not like 6 p.m., but
Okay.
an agreed time whereby you have gone through the right process to ensure that you are not going to be held accountable, you are not going to be accused, you are not going to face, some disciplinary measures just for, expressing your grievances. And even when you go to, when you go to the Ghana's Labor Act, right, you have the right in terms of industrial disputes, you have the right to, go and express your grievances,
Okay.
but it also goes through some procedures. And so according to the act, it says first, the parties must try to settle the dispute through good faith negotiation. That is a starting point under section 153. So if negotiation fails, then you move to the next step, which is a mediator. You go to mediation. And then from there, you go to a voluntary arbitration, which is under 156 and 100. So, it goes through a step and a step and a step. You don't just out of frustration, you wake up in the morning, you call Phil, who is also a class 3 teacher or a GSS teacher. Phil, have you been paid? You've not been paid. Okay, let's meet somewhere else and go to the headquarters. Call Esther or call Jonathan. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And let's meet. It doesn't work like that. When you do that, you are also forgetting about the code of conduct, something you saw on professionalism, ensuring that you be at your post whenever or whenever it's needed. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you don't put your frustration out there and then leave your professionalism, leave what you sworn on to go and
All right.
I understand that that's what I said. They are all right.
I respect your opinions a lot. So what I want to say is that to be clear, I'm not saying that I support demonstrations or picketing or things of that nature. But first of all, what is unclear to me is if any of these groups of people have gone through this process or not.
They wouldn't have faced.
If they have not gone through it, then they have done the wrong thing. But if they have gone through it and have not received the attention that they require, it is the reason they will do these things.
But do you know about that?
That's why I'm playing on both sides.
Okay.
Because if they have gone through the process and they have not received the attention that they require, that's why they will do what they are doing. And if they have not done that and they have just gone straight away to demonstrate, then they have also not done the right thing. So these are two sides of the divide. These things are quite legal in a certain sense. That's where the labor law comes. So I understand why you read the Labor Act and all of those things. So we need to be clear on some of these things. But it is just generally clear that the Constitution allows you to demonstrate under Article 1. Okay, that is a clear thing. You have the right to do all of these things once you have gone through the right channels. And most importantly, even when it comes to demonstrations, you only need to inform whoever needs to be informed practically under the Constitution. So these are some of the things I'm looking at so that we are not infringing the rights of the people.
You kind of inform quite a number of bodies. I think the police have to be aware of
Definitely.
it. Your head has to be aware of it. Even the GES that you are going, the headquarters, they need to be aware of it. The day you
because
come.
somebody
so
must be there to receive your petition.
They receive you to listen to you and then give you. But this is not the first time teachers have gone out, right? So let's put they didn't pass through. Is it okay? They didn't pass through the right procedures and then came to your office demonstrating. But this is not the first time. It should tell the government that something is wrong. It should tell the government that you are still not giving us the solution.
I agree.
And so we are going to come back. Whether
Yeah.
we pass through the right procedures or not, we are going to come back. We came first, there was no response. We went and we came back again. And we are going to come again if there is no response. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not in support of not going through the procedures. But I mean, they did the first thing, the first time, it was not through the right. So are you trying to tell us that because they didn't go through the right process, you're not going to listen to them? But they are frustrated. And you are telling them to be in those in these hot shoes and hot seats to come to the school. How are they even going to teach the children? I mean, out of anger, they may see your child and start, doing things that they are not supposed to do. So we need to consider their feelings. We need to consider their right. I mean, they worked for it and they need to be paid. Not 1 month, not 2 months, not 3 months arrest, but almost like 18 months, 17 months, almost 20 months. That's not fair on their...
It's so not fair. I mean, when it comes to the Ghana education sector, there's been a long history of strikes or demonstrations or things of this nature. It stems all the way from the lower divisions going into the university level, UTAG, and my challenge here is this. Why is it that as a country, regardless of who is in power or office,
it happens,
we
no matter.
consistently have these things showing up?
Yeah.
Okay, today we are talking about teachers or educators. The next time we may be talking about doctors or health workers. Okay, the next time we'll be talking about another
Military.
group of labor people or military or what. Like, these are where my problems are coming from. So I don't know why we are unable to have a sustainable plan when it comes to these kinds of things. I struggle to understand these things. So it tells me that as a country, politically, our governments are not doing enough for these sectors.
Yeah.
Is the reason year after year we have a recurring
demonstrations, strikes. I mean,
because I've had in the early 2000s when polytechnics were on long strikes, 3 months, 6 months, and students leave campus, go home, and they don't know when they are going back to school. Okay, so these are the things that I am beginning to think about. So I feel like the pattern has become too much. It's long overdue. Yet these are the people who are supposed to be educating the future leaders of the country. So let's pay attention to them. If we are not giving them the needed attention, yes, they might teach the people all right, but they are not going to give them the best of service. Because if I come to class as a lecturer or a teacher, and I'm not in the right senses because my salary has not been paid, I also have kids to take care of. Like, they also have problems. They are human beings. They need to live. Conditions of service are not the best. There are policy disagreements. I mean, there are so many things that keep them in a level of disadvantage, which is not fair. So for me, the argument here is this: for a place like education, is one space we need to pay attention to. We need to make sure that imagine that we are giving what's it called, people like the people at the Ministry of Finance wahala, and then they are not. How many times do you often hear people like Ministry of Finance going on strike? You see, so this is the kind of attention I'm talking about. There are certain spaces that do not record things of this nature. Okay, so let's put the structures right. Let's put things in proper context so that we are not allowing these things to occur. Otherwise, it means that we are not sure when it comes to education. Is the reason people might want to even school their children out of the country, because there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to education in the country.
Okay. But what's your thoughts about having the opposition governments coming in to question the current government? I mean, this issue happened during their time, and now you have the manpower to ask the Minister of Education to come and address the issue, give solutions.
Is simple. This is politics, because when either of them are on the opposite side, they come attacking whoever is in office. So I have said before on this show that I don't know why it is difficult for all the stakeholders in terms of governance to come together and say, for
Yeah.
example, health, agriculture, finance, education. I'm mentioning these four because if I was in that position, these are the things
your
I would do.
priority.
These are my priorities. All these things I've mentioned, health, agriculture, finance, and education. Bring the stakeholders together. Let's have a short-term plan, a medium-term plan, and a long-term plan. And it is binding by all the stakeholders. If there's another political group or divide that springs up after the people who have gone to make an agreement, you people will also be binding.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then you have a plan so that
there's
whoever
a
is in
plan,
office
yeah.
comes and they continue on the plan. Nobody can come and truncate what. That's why we have issues in politics where somebody begins a classroom block, gets to maybe it's a three
They go off
a
the
three
off
tier.
government
They
and then
do
it stops.
a ground level of the ground floor. They are unable to do the first floor.
Yeah.
Another government comes in and they
And
abandon
leaves
that
it,
and
yeah.
they go and start
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
That's a misappropriation of funds. Okay, so these are some of the things I think we should be able to do to have a sustainable plan when it comes to dealing with some of these things. Otherwise, year in, year out, these things will continue
It's
to
going
show
to
up.
you know, from the way he spoke, I mean, requesting for solution, asking the minority the Minister of Education to come
Exactly.
and share his how
Yes.
he's addressing it. It means that there's no plans even from. I mean, you could have said come and share because and we can also
Yeah.
top up with what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
But of course, they are not going to share with them what
Yeah.
they wanted to do during their time. However, he wants to listen to what they have on board to address this issue. And
Yeah.
it shows that right when they also leave on power or leave off power, the next person is also coming to say, this is my solution to the problem. And it keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth without solving the main challenge. Now, there's another angle that's the GES touched on, that is the engagement of the media without the consent or without approval of the GES or the head of school or the authority. So are they saying, as an individual, I can't go to the media? You know, the media is a space where we communicate, we share information, we let people know of our grievances. It's also another form of communication. So are they saying that if I vow to be a professional worker, to be a public worker, I cannot engage the media to share my grievances or that?
That's an issue of a major concern because recently the president made a comment somewhere that Ghana is a state that encourages free speech.
Yeah.
There's freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think we live in an era where, or we live in a country where there's freedom of speech and then we can say that your freedom outside the speech cannot be guaranteed. No.
Yeah.
As long as you're saying the right things, you are using the right channels, and you have not insulted anybody or said anything to, what's the word? Insult anybody or, curse anybody. I don't think that it is wrong. Sometimes the authorities will do these things because they feel like their names or their authority is being dragged in the mud. If you feel like you're being dragged in the mud, then do the right thing.
Exactly. You do
Because
the right thing.
we will call you out if you are not.
Exactly.
Okay, because the people in there are human beings. Imagine you are related to some of these people and you feel the kind of heat that they are facing. I mean, let's put ourselves in there and let's be realistic about some of these things.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are just too overly political about these things, and then we share unnecessary sentiments that do not belong where we are trying to tag them. It's not necessary. So I feel like we should do the right things. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a comment coming in from I think it's regarding the first story we discussed. And interesting is coming from our Secretary General. Greetings to you, Professor Olushola Oyewole, the Secretary General of Association of African Universities. And he says, great episode. Our professor should shift attention from counting journal papers to counting inventions. Absolutely, Prof.
Yeah.
We agree with you. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can keep your comments coming in as well as the show goes on. All right, so I think we can move on to the next story. And this one, it's also still in Ghana. So the Ghana Scholarships Authority has released first quarter funds to clear outstanding scholarship arrears owed to Ghanaian students abroad as part of efforts to restore stability to the scheme. In a statement signed by Director General Alex Kweku Asafo Ejei, the authority said the funds will cover delayed stipends and tuition fees, particularly for beneficiaries in the United Kingdom and other countries. The move follows reports of prolonged payment delays that have caused financial and academic difficulties for students. At the same time, Dansor Ati Shatawale has partnered with the Student Loan Trust Fund to boost awareness and access to tertiary education financing as part of the fund's 20th anniversary. The collaboration will see Shachawale lead public campaigns, headline anniversary events, and support mentorship initiatives aimed at empowering young people. The initiative also reflects a broader shift in his philanthropy through the Shacha Foundation, focusing on long-term education and skills development. Together, these developments signal renewed efforts by both government and private actors to address funding challenges in Ghana's education sector and improve access to higher education. We are back to where we started from, still on education.
Yeah. And this is not just education, but access to education. I'm trying to encourage people having access to higher education through scholarship. I mean, we know that funding yourself to get education is quite a lot in terms of finances. And so if the government is willing to, provide some funds for students, this is a huge campaign to contribute or to support individuals having access to education. So I'm happy. So far, the grievances of foreign students have been heard, and their stipends have been, cleared off by the government. I am happy to hear about that. And it shouldn't just be, okay, we've cleared off this, so we are going to hold on for about months and then come and clear it off again. I mean, if there's a challenge, we do see some of the government officials go abroad. I mean, they go to UK, they go to US, they go to other countries, and they meet some of these foreign students. If, let's say, Ghana government, they go to UK, they meet students in the UK to engage with them, let them know. So if there's a challenge, at least you should let the students know this is a challenge. However, solutions are coming, and so you should look forward to that. But you don't just leave them to be stranded out there. I mean, they are in someone's country, and it's not easy. I mean, even being in Ghana here, living alone, and you don't have money to go to school or even go to work, it is quite a difficult situation. So I'm happy that the arrests have been addressed, and now comes in the involvement of the private actors.
Yeah, I'm happy to know about the involvement of private actors.
Yeah.
But I have a question on my mind,
Okay.
which is why we still do these things. We just jumped from a story of Ghana Education Service into this one, still within the education sector.
Okay.
So here's the deal.
And it's still funding.
And it's still funding.
Yeah.
You know me, I've always talked about sustainability when it comes to policies in Africa. If there is no sustainability plan, why are we trying to do these things in the first place?
Okay.
That's the question
I get
for me.
you. Yeah.
If we know we can't sustain it, why are we doing this? Because we send students out there and then they are frustrated. Schools threaten to throw them out. How do you even have a sound mind when you are going through these kinds of things? It is crazy for me because I feel like we are not investing enough when it comes to education.
The system, yeah.
In Africa,
yeah.
Not only in Ghana. This is a story related to Ghana, but in Africa. Last week, when I hosted the ELEN webinar, one of my panelists said something. Kwesi said that he is a PhD candidate in one of the schools in the United States. And then he made a comment and he said that schools in the US have research grants and scholarship available that is so huge than some countries' GDPs.
Okay.
That statement has not left my head since last Wednesday when I moderated that webinar. Yeah. I've been thinking about it. How is it that one? I mean, there are several of them, but I'm just seeing one.
Yeah.
American university has funds available for research and scholarship, all of this together, which is bigger than a country's GDP.
Well, it means
you
have sustainability plans.
Yes.
I mean, they can
where,
do this.
Where lies our priorities?
Yeah.
Okay. So that thing, like I'm saying, this is from last week Wednesday. Yeah. I'm talking about it here on a Monday. So it tells you how much we are not planning properly, or even if we are planning properly, there is no sustainability plan for the long term. It is always for the short term. Because now we are happy to say that government has cleared the backlog of whatever unpaid scholarships, blah, blah, blah. You just said it rightly, that we hope that we don't leave
It's
this
not- yeah.
and then in a few months we are back again in the news, and then students are being threatened to be thrown out of school, and they have to start making calls. Because I've listened to some of these students on some of the stations, and you should hear them speak.
Yeah.
They
Very
borrow
frustrating,
money.
Yeah.
They have to find work. Meanwhile, these scholarships sometimes it's not even allowing them they are not supposed to be working because they have gone to do full-time studies. So they are
Yeah.
not supposed. That's why they are being paid stipends. But unfortunately, they have to find illegal jobs to survive because
Yeah.
they must eat.
Yeah, I get you. So talking about sustainability, I think that is why involving a celebrity in this, who is also in support, I mean, trying to also contribute to it, it
Yeah.
tells us that this is not just the responsibility of the government. No, it is not just the responsibility of, let's say, the president or the minister of education, among others. We also have to play a role. If you're an
Yes.
individual out there, if you're an industry, a celebrity, and I mean, it is part of your goals, or it is part of some of the things you would want to achieve. That is you supporting people have access to education. I mean, things like this you can support. You can set a foundation and then go and support the government. So we shouldn't just, yes, the government should have a sustainability plan, but as part of funding or strategies or measures to get more funding is the involvement of the private actors. So it is open to all of us. We shouldn't just call on the government to, make sure you have money to give funds to the people.
I completely agree with you, because the government is doing so much, but it can only do so little because it doesn't have a lot. We all cannot rely on the government alone to do everything that we expecting. So yes, all the corporate organizations, all the individuals who have, because what I'm talking about with regards to the United States schools, many of these monies are not just coming from the institutions. Many of them are coming from millionaires, billionaires, several foundations, from families.
Even from outside, right?
Exactly.
We have the Bill Gates Foundation.
Yes, Bill and
support.
Melinda Gates. So all of these people support. So for all of the wealthy people who can be able to do some of these things, of course, let's put in the structures. Let's put in whatever features and whatever that would guide the modalities for some of these things. And then let's all come on board to make these things, doable, because it is, at the end of the day, giving back to society is philanthropy. Yes, it's your money. We can't tell you how to use it, but when there's a struggle in the system,
future. I see I'm seeing Despite.
You're having some revelations now.
Yeah, Despite Foundation supporting funds, for higher education.
And for me, if you ask me, it won't hurt if the Scholarship Foundation or Get Fund or whoever is responsible for these things shouldn't shy away from also making personal contact. Get to the people, have a conversation with them, give them a proposal, let them think about it, because I don't think that for some of these people, they have even thought about this. For all you know, they are thinking about the continuing success of their business and how to make more money.
Yeah.
But if you haven't sent them a proposal, if you have not engaged them, I mean, how do you even know they may be willing to support?
So the government should also
have a conversation.
Maybe have some convenience, some get together and bring in this investors.
We recently had the Accra Prosperity Dialogues and things of this nature. I mean, did you invite people of this nature? I don't know. Did we invite people of this nature to be at a table to discuss things like this and show them how their resources can be invested in the country in the right way? Or do we only just go to them during political seasons to say that please support me for politics? We know, for example, what Ibrahim Mahama does for several people across the country. Have we engaged him on this level? I know as an individual, he does a lot for people. But here, he alone, or together with his engineers and plans, for example, they can have a foundation. I don't even know if they already have one, though. I mean, I stand to be corrected. But these are some of the things. So let's engage people of this magnitude and this stature to do some of these things.
So moving from the higher education, let's look at the celebrity aspect. Were you not surprised seeing Shatta Wale, supporting this?
And
I'm happy. I'm very happy he has taken this step, because looking at the people behind his funds, he's trying to, encourage them, to empower them that education is good. You should go to school. I'm supporting this.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I was really happy.
I am not
You're
surprised.
not surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. You see, here's the thing. A lot of people feel like maybe Shatta hasn't done a lot of school. Let me take it from this context where people think about the fact that, for example, Stonebwoy, I think he's on his second master's, okay?
Yeah.
And then Shatta probably just did up to senior high school and hasn't gone beyond that. You see, education is not about certificates.
Okay.
I'm not saying what student boy is doing is not important. No,
Yeah, I get
that's
you.
for his personal achievement. That's great, but you don't need to be in the educational space to know that you can be of help or you can be of influence. I've said on this show before that Shatta is not just a brand or an artist. He's an institution, take it or leave it, because he commands the streets. He has the numbers.
Yes.
So even though people, in quotes, say that his followers are not school dropouts, and people say things like that, they haven't been in school and things like that. But you find him in a situation of this nature and he's coming on board for these things, it tells you that he can influence his people to go to school.
To go to school, of course.
Okay.
I mean, education
So
is
me,
key.
I'm not surprised. He has the numbers. He has he thinks about these things. He's a sharp guy.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys who is fighting for music properly so that artists are benefiting properly in this country. I mean,
Okay.
let's leave that conversation. But for
Okay.
him to be involved,
Okay.
I can tell you without
Well,
fear or favor that I'm not surprised.
I'll use this platform to congratulate Shatta Wale for
Absolutely.
supporting this and also
Shatta.
call on other. Hey,
Vim,
it looks like,
Vim.
looks like. Anyway, to call on other celebrities and private actors to also help the government in contributing to ensuring that people have access to higher education. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we shall continue with our news review. Please stay tuned.
Are you a university, college, high school, private organization, NGO, individual professor, instructor, or facilitator seeking to take advantage of the numerous benefits of online education? Look no further. The AAU eLearn Africa LMS is a great opportunity to begin your journey to online course development and creation for teaching, learning, and training purposes. AAU eLearn Africa LMS, which is a partnership between the Association of African Universities and eLearn Africa, has made available ease to use online learning tools to all stakeholders within the educational ecosystem of the African continent. This is to enhance teaching and learning in the bid to expand online learning opportunities for students in Africa. The online platform is open and available for free to all stakeholders and facilitates virtual access to classes without needing the other tools such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, among others. For more information, visit www.elearnafricalms.com or contact us via aaulms@aau.org or estherm@elearnafrica.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at AAU eLearn Africa LMS.
Hello, Africa. Keep watching AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
You're welcome back from the break. Thank you for sticking with us. And this is Hello Africa Morning Show. We are continuing with the news review, and this we have a story from BBC, which says a powerful human interest story featured by BBC Africa is drawing attention to the barriers faced by persons with disability in accessing education across Nigeria. The report follows Ove Friday, a 19-year-old who lost his hand and fingers after being tortured as a child over accusation of witchcraft. Despite the trauma, he pushed to pursue higher education, but nearly lost his chance due to biometric verification challenges during Nigeria's university entrance process, administered by the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board. With support from advocates, he was eventually allowed to use a toe print for identification and is now studying at university in Nasarawa State. Now, the story also highlights similar challenges faced by other Nigerians living with disabilities, including difficulties with digital identity systems, limited infrastructure, and social stigma. According to Nigeria's Social Commission for Persons with Disabilities, more than 35 million people in the country live with some form of disability, underscoring the scale of the issue. Phil. So this is also in education, but here we are looking at inclusivity, we are looking at equity in the country, Nigeria. And I'm happy, you know, this is something some of us, we really do not focus on. We don't think, it does not really cross our mind.
Most people don't think about it.
And the number here is huge because Nigeria have a lot of,
Nigeria is
in terms of population, they are quite a number. But 35 million having disability, are people living with disabilities. And then here comes a challenge in terms of access to education based off their situation. Then where lies inclusivity? Where lies equity? Where lies we meeting the Agenda 2063 or even the Sustainable Development Goal, ensuring that everybody have the right to education, no matter the form, no matter your background, no matter who you are?
I don't know why we still struggle over these issues.
Okay,
I don't know.
I have an answer to it.
Oh, no, I'll be glad if you can
Not
answer
really
it.
an answer, but a comment or maybe an input. So we are struggling because, I mean, I know there are a lot of institutions, when you go there, they have a way of addressing, or they have some ways whereby people with disabilities can have access to the institution. Let's say in terms of their pathway, in terms of even the washroom, even in education, they have these books and, you know, some devices that at least support the education. But we are facing this challenge because now we are moving forward. We are moving from those times, those manual systems, to artificial intelligence. Hence, we need to ensure that if we are saying, okay, we are going to incorporate artificial intelligence, we are going to incorporate this technology, there should be a way that it is also going to be easy for people living with disabilities. But we only do it because, okay, we want to go into modern technology, we want to do this. And so we just only look at doing it without looking at people with disability, not even being able to control or to have access to even use the device or use the system. So that is a challenge.
Okay, so having explained what the challenges are, I feel like we have been so insensitive.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry to say, like, I have to be this blunt, because it is taking too long to warm up to the realities of people living with disability amongst everyday people.
Yeah.
We are taking too long. That conversation in Africa is long overdue. Many institutions are, even though we talk about it, are still yet to properly live the practicality of it. Okay, how difficult is this thing such that now, even in politics, it becomes a political message or a campaign where we have to say that, okay, when I'm in office, I'll make sure that a certain percentage of people living with disability are employed. Look, we need to find a way to normalize this thing. These are people.
In practice, and not just saying it.
I say these things because, look, we fail to think about the fact that some of these people may be born with natural disabilities. Maybe they were born like that. There are other people who suffered it as a result of an accident or one thing or the other. Put yourself in the shoes of a family member who has a relation like that. How would you feel? So, these are the things for me. So I feel like the reality of these things, we are just wasting too much time. Okay, somebody must sit somewhere and be very conscious about it and make sure that all of the things we have said, we are following to the letter, because we have had several conversations about this. So somebody must sit somewhere and say that this is what we are doing and we are making sure that we are consistent about it. If it means coming up with a system where we are making an input every single day,
Yeah.
365 days in every year. That is what it has to be.
Yeah.
Because these people have a life.
Yeah. No. So this is even about identification, right? Authentication, like trying to prove that you are the one.
Yes.
And the person does not have a finger or have arms.
Yeah.
And so they have to wait for people to come in to advocate that, equality, equity, inclusivity, and so they allow the person to use the tool.
Yeah.
So imagine that the abnormalities is both arms and tools. What is the person going to? It means there are no solutions.
Exactly.
There's nothing the person
Yeah.
can. It means the person cannot go to school.
Yeah.
But there can be other ways you can
So,
authenticate. You can identify yourself.
You
that
mentioned
this is the person.
technology. So I don't know if it was going to be a difficult thing to say that for this person there's an exception. Maybe let's have a facial detection thing for him.
Okay, and what if the abnormalities is on the face?
Look, there's always a way out. It's the reason we live in an age of technology and AI now. Okay, so there must be an exception. Look, even if he means making one special exception for this person to feel very special, let's make it happen.
Exactly.
He's the only person in this situation at the moment.
But there are lots of people
there are
facing
people.
it, yeah.
So
A lot
in
of
this
people.
context,
Okay.
so even if he's the first to be the example, let that continue for the rest of the people who will be in the line.
Yeah.
Okay, that will just make these people aware that we are thinking about them. We are not just being fanatics and talking politics and making sure that they are part of the statistics. No, they must be part of the story, the real story, where we have the real life solutions to make sure that this problem is no longer a problem.
Yeah.
So that these people will know that, okay, I have a chance in society, I have a chance or I have the right to live like a normal person. Because I don't see why we make this thing very like isolated. We often treat it like as an isolated case.
This shouldn't have been an issue.
Exactly.
Honestly, it shouldn't have been.
So
this is just the beginning.
Yes.
Registration.
Yes.
So imagine when he gets access.
Yes. So
does that mean there are strategies in there that when he gets access to the school, when he starts, everything is going to be comfortable with him there?
we can start from there because, like I said, there have been policies, there have been conversations, and these things didn't begin now.
No.
People living with disabilities or these kinds of disabilities,
it's been in existence.
they have been there for long.
Yeah.
So if we are even trying to say that we didn't have ideas or ways to talk about or to make this thing work, what were we doing with all the conversations we've been having for the last 20 years, 30 years, and all of these things? Okay, like we need to be proactive about these things. Unless we want to say that we don't want to give these people education, we don't want them to be part of normal or everyday people. Like, we have to be clear about something. But if we have to make this work, we need to make sure it is working properly. Okay, because why would BBC pick on this story and make it look like it's a big deal?
Yeah.
This should be a normal thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's even Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Act, which was established in 2019. So that's about 7 years ago, and still this is happening. So what are they using that act for?
Yes.
How is it being implemented?
How is it being implemented?
Yeah.
So it's a big deal. But congratulations to the young man for whatever he has, and then we hope that he will open the gateway for other people to, also benefit.
And this also goes to innovators, whatever you are doing, any intervention, any innovation, any solution that you are trying to bring on board, you need to ensure you have the GESI in it.
Yeah.
To ensure that everybody
Absolutely.
have access to it and not just a particular sector or a particular individual. And sure, even if it's just a little way that it's going to have inclusivity, it's going to have gender equality among others in it. Please do. Please do.
Right. So we'll go on into the next story, and your team, the Black Stars, your favorite team.
Yay.
The Ghana national football team has appointed experienced Portuguese coach Carlos Queiroz as a head coach ahead of the upcoming FIFA World Cup. The 73-year-old replaces Otto Addo, who was dismissed following recent friendly defeats and Ghana's failure to qualify for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. Queiroz brings a wealth of international experience, having served as an assistant to Alex Ferguson at Manchester United and managed several national teams, including Portugal, Iran, Egypt, and Colombia. He most recently coached Oman before leaving the role after they failed to qualify for the World Cup. Ghana will face Panama, England, and Croatia in the group stage of the tournament, which will be co-hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Do you know anything about Carlos Queiroz?
No, I don't until I heard that that is our new coach. So I did a bit of, findings to see who this person is.
Okay.
And I have a lot of questions.
Great. Let's talk about them.
Oh yes, I mean I want to know more about this because I don't want Black Stars to break my heart. Although they keep breaking my heart, but I mean I'm very optimistic. So I have a lot of questions.
Yes, let's talk about them.
We changed our coach. We sacked Otuado and brought in this based on experience, right? The decision behind this experience.
Yeah.
Okay. In what context? Because if you are talking about experience, we have a lot of experienced coaches here. Anna.
So Ghana has experienced coaches.
Yes.
True.
So in what context? Is it experience in terms of international match games or
so
what?
The appointment of a coach, a lot goes into it.
Okay.
So for example, Ghana is going to the World Cup. Based on Ghana's performance in the last few years, especially because we couldn't qualify for the recent AFCON, it has shown us what we need.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
In the quality of a coach to manage the Black Stars.
The quality of the coach.
Yes. To manage the Black Stars.
Okay.
And we are now going to the biggest football stage in the world. Okay. Which is the World Cup.
Okay.
Okay. So you need the quality of somebody like Carlos Queiroz to take us to the World Cup. I know your next question might be, how come Otuado took us in 2022?
And then came back again. If it is the quality of the coach, we tested Otuado, right? We didn't like him and we sent him. And he came back again.
Yes.
And we accepted him. On what basis? That, I mean, he's had experience with them.
So this conversation is quite, I'm looking for a word I can't find, but for the lack of a proper word, there are a lot of things we may not understand because the decision is based on who is appointing and on what basis they are appointing. Okay. The GFA is responsible for appointing a coach for the Black Stars.
Okay.
And when Otuado was in office for the first time and he did whatever he did and he came back, he resigned himself.
Okay.
For whatever reason, the GFA brought him back is what we do not understand.
Well,
because when a person resigns from an office,
I learned the reason they took him back was because, I mean, the interview, amongst the interview he did very well. And it looks like he had some first-hand experience with the players. And he's identified the gaps. He's known that, okay, when I come in, this and this and this is what I saw. So this and this is what, when I come, I'm going to introduce or do better to ensure that, I mean, we do well. But here lies the case, just friendly match, and we lost like...
So even before friendly matches, unfortunately, I don't have the statistics with me.
Okay.
But when you look at his record up to the friendly matches, he's done just about 33% of wins for the matches he was supposed to win. Because
for Ghana,
yes,
Black Stars,
it didn't make sense for us to be playing with a country like Comoros and then we lose. Okay. Why did we lose out on the AFCON?
Yeah.
AFCON is one of the tournaments, if you ask me, the Black Stars should play year in, year out, every year. There's no year we are supposed to be missing out on AFCON.
Yeah.
When you talk about football countries in Africa, top 5, Ghana will come in. Top 10, Ghana will come in. So why we didn't qualify for the AFCON? I think that was where he should have been sacked. We shouldn't have allowed him to come into even this year.
Yeah.
So because we knew that we're going into the World Cup.
Yeah.
And then we have allowed him to come all the way
train with
2
them,
months into the World Cup.
Yeah.
Then we have the change of a coach. Which, look, the truth of the matter is that it can work and it can fail.
And when it fails, it's going to be huge failure.
So I'll give you an example. I think Morocco did this in the 2022 World Cup. I think I stand to be corrected, I think it was less than 2 months to the 2022 World Cup. And I think that's when Morocco changed their coach into the World Cup. That's the Qatar 2022 World Cup.
Okay.
Then we go for the World Cup. For Morocco to be the only African country to get to the semi-final. That's with a coach who had come into office less than 2 months.
Okay.
So give and take, some of these things can work.
Okay.
But it also depends on the mentality of the coach
And the
his
players.
experience, and also
And
the
the players, yeah.
And currently, if you look at the quality of players we have, they are not bad players at all. Sadly, Kudus may not go to the World Cup. He's
Due
one
to
of
the
the
injury?
because of his injury. He was coming back, and then unfortunately he relapsed again. So he may not be at the World Cup. But given the quality of players we have, for example, one of our star players now is Semenyo. Semenyo plays for Manchester City at the moment. He left Bournemouth and came to Manchester City in January.
Okay.
Look, football is funny. For a player to leave one team in the middle of the season and get into a new team and still performs is rare. If Semenyo came into Manchester City in the summer, we can understand that he started with them from the beginning of the season. But in the middle of the season, he comes in to another team and is still doing very well under one of the best coaches in football, Pep Guardiola.
Okay.
Yet when this guy comes to Ghana and he's playing, it's as if he's now learning to play football
Okay.
under Otuado. What does that tell you? It is about the mentality of the coach. You can't have the quality of these players and then not perform.
Yeah.
We have had, another example is Inaki Williams.
Yeah.
Inaki plays for Athletic Bilbao in Spain. He scores goals, but look at how long it even took him to score his first goal for Ghana. And since then, it's been his only goal.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why I think that we should have
Yeah.
let Otuado go long ago.
Okay.
When he resigned, I didn't even think he should have been brought back, if you
Okay.
ask me.
Because I was about asking, is it the performance of a team, does it solely depend on the qualities and the expertise of the coach only? But because, I mean, looking at starting from, is it Milo and then our very own Kwesi,
yeah.
and then Otuado, and then now this. I mean, they have some experience.
Yes.
They have some qualities, right? They have some skills. But are we only looking at the coaches and not also considering the players on the field itself?
Look, so when it comes to the quality of players, that's why I'm able to make easy examples,
Okay.
like what I did with Semenyo, what I did with Inaki.
Okay.
When you look at the kind of players we have at the moment, we shouldn't be struggling.
Okay.
Honestly, because these players play for their clubs every week and we watch them and we see what happens. Okay. Let me make a classic case outside of Ghana.
Okay.
Ademola Lookman is a player who plays for Atletico Madrid in Spain. He was playing for Atalanta in Italy, and he was able to also make a switch and come to Spain to play for Atletico Madrid. We watch him every week. He was one of the best players in the AFCON.
Okay.
You get it? So on the scale of comparing even Lookman to our players alone, Lookman plays for his club, he's doing well. He plays for his country, he's doing well. Why is he doing well in both spaces, in the country and for the club?
Yeah.
Okay. Why are our players only doing well in their clubs and not for the
in
country?
Okay.
This is where you can draw the line.
Yes.
You get it?
Yes.
So this is where you can easily see then it is the coach.
Okay. Okay. So if it's the coach, I told you I have a lot of questions. I mean, so if it's the coach, and so you know this new coach, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the qualities? What are some of the things you've seen him in terms of performance? What are some of the things you've seen that you think that, oh no, this is the best for Ghana, and then we should look forward to bringing the cup to the country?
Okay. So when you're looking for a coach, one of the best things you can look at, number one, is experience.
Okay.
We in the world of football, we have respect for Alex Ferguson. Carlos Queiroz is not Alex Ferguson, but he has trained with Ferguson. Another classic example is Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta is now the coach for Arsenal.
Okay.
Now, Arteta was the assistant coach to Guardiola. Okay. Guardiola is one of the best coaches in the world at the moment.
Okay.
And when Arteta became the coach for Arsenal, Arsenal has come up from the level where they could not even qualify for Champions League in a season. And now, consistently, for the last 3 to 4 years, they are always second in the league. This year, they may win the league. Unfortunately, they have blown away some chances. So that alone tells you the experience or the quality Arteta has brought to Arsenal.
Okay.
Just because he has stayed with Guardiola, who is one of the best coaches at the moment.
Okay.
And now when Manchester City is playing against Arsenal, it's a big deal. For example, yesterday they played. It was a lot of heat in that game. It was anybody's game, but sadly, Arsenal lost. even though at the start of the game they were 6 points ahead. Okay, now the gap has been reduced to 3 points. Okay, so it just tells you what Carlos can bring just because of Ferguson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secondly, he's coached teams like Portugal, which has star players like Ronaldo.
Okay.
So if Carlos Queiroz can tame the egos of Ronaldo's, all of these people, I mean, I can't remember on Bruno Fernandes's and all of these people, who are biggest players in the world of football compared to the stars we have in the Black Stars.
Okay.
Who are these boys not to comply?
Okay. All right. And so if we have at least a very qualified coach at the moment, and we have about just 2 months to go into World Cup, do you think there's going to be good relationship between the coach and the players? I mean, sometimes it's not just about qualities, it's not just about the tactics, the experience and all that, but the relationship you have with the players. Because I know that there's been issues with respect when it comes to between the coaches and the players. So sometimes maybe the coach may say, stand here and do this, or go with this tactics, go with this format, and then they start to do their own things on the field.
So,
do you think there's going to be some good bonding, some good relationship?
From my experience and what I know, the little I know about football managers and relationships between themselves and the players, given the experience of Carlos Queiroz, we can boldly say that he can have that relationship. He's 73 years old. He's had
so age.
I mean, naturally, we will assume comes with wisdom.
Yeah.
So he will know how to handle these
respect.
boys like his sons and tell them what to do and what not to do.
Okay.
With the experience that he has over Europe and Africa, he has that quality that we need. Okay. Me, in my personal opinion, I'd have preferred Hervé Renard, who has a lot of experience over Africa. Okay. But this is what the GFA chose amongst the 3 Portuguese who were on the list. So with the experience of Carlos Queiroz, I feel like he can handle the relationships, number one, and then the respect, because he'll be able to manage the players. Like I said, with experience he has given or he has done with countries like Portugal, who are a higher ranked team ahead of Ghana, obviously we should be able to do better.
Okay, well, I'm a huge and big fan of Black Stars. So whatever is good for us, I'm in full support. We are all just hoping that we are going to do very, 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 very well and bring back. No, not back. And bring the cup to. I mean, I'm dreaming.
Are you sure we can be able to win the World Cup?
Is that not all what we are praying for?
In my honest opinion,
there was a time I was home listening to you on set, and you were saying things against. Don't let me bring it here.
No,
I'm
an objective person naturally.
Okay.
So, in my honest opinion, we may not win the cup, but we could make it into the quarters or into the semis. I mean, we can do that. We have done it before. We went to the quarters in the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. So I believe that we have the quality to take us there. For winning it, honestly,
we all have freedom of speech.
But if
I am
get
saying
to win
we
it,
are bringing the cup. But don't hold me accountable.
Today is the 20th of April, 2026.
Yes, we are bringing.
We will come back to this conversation.
The cup is ours. The cup is ours. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the discussion. Please stay tuned.
Ever wondered what drives ordinary people to do extraordinary things? Every week, a new story unfolds. But these aren't just stories. They are the journeys of courage, resilience, and vision. On Impact Stories, we open the door to remarkable personalities and everyday heroes. Experience the passion behind their purpose. Witness the setbacks, the breakthroughs, and the moments that defines a legacy. Journey with us on AAU TV every Saturday at 4 p.m. as we celebrate those who are making an impact. Tune in to Impact Stories, where real people share real journeys and real impact, each one leaving behind a legacy written in gold. Only on AAU TV.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with AAU TV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAU TV. It's not just about watching TV, It's about experiencing something special. AAU TV reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch AAU TV free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAU TV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Hello Africa, keep watching AAU TV.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
You're welcome back from the break, and now we are diving into the lifestyle segment. And our first story is, I think it's something, if you are a Ghanaian in Accra, you have seen around, it's about a billboard that is turning art to spotlight textile waste. Now, unconventional billboards made from discarded clothing have appeared across parts of Accra, turning heads and sparking conversations about the environmental cost of fast fashion. The installations spotted in areas such as Osu and Oponglu replace traditional advertising with layers of used garments, creating bold visual statements in public spaces. Now, the project is the work of Ghanaian multidisciplinary artist Emmanuel Agreteku, who uses the installations to highlight what he described as a growing textile waste crisis by transforming second-hand clothing into large-scale art. The initiative draws attention to Ghana's position as a major destination for used clothing and the environmental challenges that comes with it. So, Phil, I'm sure you have seen this in town. Myself, just recently, I've been home. I don't really go out into town, but this Saturday I did, and I saw it. I mean, I even straight this and I was asking, what is the meaning of this? Until not me sitting in today to know that, I mean, there is actually an advocate, or there's some information or something trying to communicate something to. I didn't know the meaning of that billboard. And this also tells us about how we communicate. I mean, you have an advocate. This is art, I know, and you're advocating for something. But I think there should be some writings or some explanation somewhere. Imagine we have not interviewed, or there's no media that has reached out to the person in charge of it to really understand the story behind it. We may not know. We may think it is a designer who is trying to come out with a design or a brand and wants us to see. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I completely agree with you, because the truth is, the one I've seen is the one at the Oponglu Junction.
Myself seeing.
I have wondered what it is.
Yeah.
I think sometime last week, myself and some of our colleagues were going towards University of Ghana, and we were having a debate in the vehicle. Like, what is this? What is the idea behind it?
Yeah.
Everybody was just coming up with whatever thoughts they felt was right. But until reading the story, I also didn't have the details, like you're saying. So I feel like, as much as it feels like an abstract when you look at
creativity.
it. As for the creativity part, we all admire. That I'm not going to lie about. We all admire the creativity part, because it's the first time I've seen anything like this anywhere in the world. So I feel like, okay, this is nice, this is beautiful, this is okay. But what is the idea behind it? I think somebody was amongst us. I think somebody said they're probably just trying to cover the space because there's not yet an ad displayed
Exactly.
on the billboard.
So
they're
trying
just
to cover
covering.
this.
And I thought to myself, are you covering the space? What are you covering? I mean, like, or you're trying to show that maybe the space is available for. But it's a lot of things because I don't think it took a small amount of time to put all of those clothes together. I mean, if we are to hear from Emmanuel Tieku, I'm sure we probably might be. He could be able to tell us how many clothes came together to fit that huge space. So I feel like there should be a way to communicate what it is. Okay, I like the idea because it gives you a lot to think about.
Yes, and now you go and search what is it about, what is the person
But the information about it should not be difficult. Unless, of course, maybe this is a teaser, and when it is taken down, something else will be said to us or will be told us.
But how are we even going to link it that it is a continuation or it's a second step of
That's
the
the beautiful
one?
thing about communication I've learned lately, especially when it comes to advertising. Because now people are able to create the continuity of product advertisements when it is happening. So I feel like there is a chance maybe when this one is taken down after a certain number of weeks or months, the next one will come that is going to tell the story behind why this huge thing was hoisted there. So that's the only thing that consoles me about it.
I think it's going to be quite similar to what Nana Bediako did during the campaign.
Exactly.
We saw someone
he came
in
with a face mask.
And then we were all wondering, what is this? What is this? What is this? And then the next one was something
then
with
came
his
the
face.
unveiling.
I
So
get you.
something of the sort. So that's a very good example about how the advertising communication goes on, or the campaign goes on. So maybe we might see something else after these clothes are taken off. But beyond that, it is enough to generate the conversation that he's looking for. Is the reason we are discussing this on the Hello Africa Morning Show in the lifestyle section.
Now let's come to the main issue. That is the main issue, bringing in second-hand clothing to Ghana. And people are saying this is it feels like, I mean, the country is being like a dumping place for this used clothes, used garments, and we purchase them. We use them within some few days, and then we end up throwing them away. What's your take on this? I mean, I have some comments to share, but what's your take on this?
So, from the context of what we are learning behind, or we are learning about what is behind the idea of these things, it does make sense to me because the truth of the matter is that it's not even only Ghana. A lot of African countries are like a dump site for used clothes from the Western world. So, here's the thing: it's a dumping site. Yes, it's true. You may find one or two nice clothes in there, but the point is that whether we like it or not, they are dumping it here. We scramble for it probably because of poverty or things of that nature.
The price is cheap,
and it is cheaper because it fits the budget locally. So people will go in for that rather than buying something from the shop or something that is brand new. So they feel comfortable about it. That's okay. But at the end of the day, we have to think about what comes after that. I'm not even going to talk about the economic factor where these things don't last compared to things that you buy from a shop or something that's brand new. That's the truth. They don't last like that because they're already used before they came into the country. So they don't last. But I won't even talk about the economic factor. But when you have finished using it, how do you dispose them of? Where does it go to? One of the things or the sites I have seen which is really, really disgusting is when you go to our beaches in Accra. I don't know how, unfortunately, these things get dumped in the sea. I don't know how. But there are many parts of our beaches in, let me stick to Accra because I've been to most beaches in Accra, where somehow, somewhere, you go somewhere and you find just torn clothes or used clothes. And I don't know how they get there. And these things hardly decay.
Of course.
And we've been talking about climate change for the last how many years in this continent now, or even the world. And we fail to realize that little things like this contribute to these things.
So in terms of disposing it, I mean, whichever ways you are going, if you burn it, it's also going to cause another climate issue. So no matter how you dispose it, unless maybe you recycle it into something better or something different that is going to prevent other climate issue. Now, Phil, so we are all saying this is kind of waste colonialism, where we hear African countries are seen as dump sites. We use we bring in the second-hand garments, clothing too, but it's not. It is not going to stop. Honestly, it is not. It is not going to stop, because aside clothing, we also bring in some other things, some second-hand car parts,
vehicles,
cooking utensils. Do you get what I'm saying? Like almost
all of
everything,
the things we use in our
even
homes,
when you are building your house, furniture, TV,
all
appliances, and all that. All these, we go in for the second-hand rather than going in for the brand new. And we even say that this home use, right? They are original more than the new ones that we go in for. So it is not going to stop. But what I would say is, if we are going to go in for these second-hand, there are store rejects. Instead of going in for this full of like something you can't use, honestly, you can go in for a bill, and immediately you open, you realize that it is trash. Like you are not going to get anything from it.
I hear it is a risk they take.
Yes. And because they don't want to also lose, they end up reducing the price, and then you see people rushing in. You go home and you realize that what you even bought, you can't even wear one. Unless maybe you want to be too creative enough, then you take it for alteration and then you wear it. And even as you are wearing it, it's not going to last, because the material is it's worn out that you can't it can't even last you for very long. And so if we want to go into keep on doing this, what I would say is maybe there should be some strict protocols or protocols to go by. I mean, those into these bills, thrifts and all that, when it comes, when your bill comes and you open, you realize that it is full of trash, you send it back to them. And even you should pay half, and when it comes and you think that it is not good, you send it back to them.
So I don't know how that is going to work, because I don't know how the system works. I don't know if there's any
selection
or any.
Oh, there are people who
regulate
kind of
this thing?
Yes, there are people in let's say if the goods is coming from UK, there are people in UK who does this selection. Like they bring it as a bill, and then they ship it. You purchase and then they ship it to you. Even if it is in China, there are people in the factory, they, depending on your order, they pile it. It doesn't matter what you get. They just pile everything and then they send it back to you. So to me, I'm saying there should be some strict regulations where high selections are done out there before it comes to us.
Yeah, because it's becoming a problem. I think there's a story we should go back to sometime.
So, we should.
All right. So in our next story on the lifestyle segment, Ghanaian music icon Okyeame Kwame marked his 50th birthday with a grand celebration in Accra, hosting a star-studded event at the Plus 233 Jazz Bar and Grill on April 18, 2026. The event, hosted by Channel One TV, brought together top artists, industry players, and dignitaries for a night filled with music performances and celebration. The rap doctor thrilled guests with performances of his classic hits and shared the stage with several prominent artists, including Kwame Eugene, Kidi, Sister Ifia, and Akwabwa. A major highlight of the night was his reunion performance with Obo. Beyond the celebration, the event also carried a strong social impact, as proceeds will go towards the construction of a pediatric emergency center in Kumasi, a project aimed at improving child health care delivery. The milestone event not only celebrated his legacy in music, but also highlighted his continued commitment to culture, philanthropy, and national development. Happy belated birthday to you, Okyeame Kwame. What do you make of Okyeame Kwame's?
Oh, yes.
But you know about this thing anyway.
I saw some, but I didn't really follow it. Yeah, I saw some of the celebrations, some of the performances and all that, but I didn't really follow much on it. And so belated happy birthday to Okyeame Kwame. And he's one of the few artists who do not want to grow. Honestly, 50. He's refusing.
He looks
to
like
grow.
he's steady.
Yeah, and so energetic and strong among others. So and you know, it's surprising. He's one of the people who are or activists supporting the waste colonialism, stop waste colonialism. He's one of them. I think beginning of this year, he and Sister Debbie went on some campaigns, you know, advocating for people to wear Ghana made,
he's all about Ghana.
Yes,
he's all
to
about
produce
Ghana.
in here rather than going in for the thrift, or even if you are going in for thrift, it has to be recycled into something better. So he's one of the people, I mean, fighting or in support of stop waste colonialism. And so belated happy birthday once again, and keep on, you know, improving and building the industry. And we don't want to lose our legends. No, we don't want to lose our legends. They shouldn't use old age as an excuse to stop. He's been in the system like
for over 20
I wonder,
years.
I mean, how is he even doing it? How is he doing it?
So he's one of my favorite artists in Ghana based on lyrics. Okay, he's one of the best lyricists I have known. When I talk about lyrics in terms of music, there are 4 people I rate. Number 1 is Obrafo. Number 2 is Ochame Kwame. Then there's Sarkodie, and then Manifest when it comes to lyrics, choice of words, and how they make music. That's how much I respect these guys. So I followed Ochame Kwame even since when he and Ochame Kofi were together, and they had a group called Achame. And before they broke apart, not necessarily because of any issues, but Kofi wanted to do more media stuff, and Kwame wanted to continue music. So I know how well he has done over the years and his contribution. That's why how come I know he's all about Ghana and doing timeless music, because many of his songs are still being played on air every day. And this is a guy who's done music for over 20 years. And many songs, even together from when they were at Chiame back then, are still being played on air. And these are classic hits. You go to parties, clubs, and whatever, and they are still going. So the question you were asking, how he has been relevant, that's because he has not only focused on music.
Yeah, he added other things.
Philanthropy, advocacy, activism. All of these things.
Yes, and the diversity. He recently released a song about clapping, and it's really nice.
That's
the
part
diversity
of his birthday.
in it. He's not just doing high life.
I think he did that with Reggie Rockstone as well.
Yes, I saw a video. I don't know whether the song was done with Reggie Rockstone, but I saw a video of them together performing the song.
The dance,
the song. But what I'm trying to say is the diversity in it. It sounded like a reggae. It sounded like rhyming. Yes,
that's the diversity in his kind of music.
It makes him like still be in the system. People get to like his song. This Gen Zs. He tries to
so he's able to switch in between the
high life.
The current genre of whatever Afro pop and whatever you can think about. So I think that he has been able to find his way around diversifying his music and the things that he does. That's how come he has still been in the system for so long, and he's still very influential. And I think that a lot of other artists must be able to learn things of this nature.
Exactly.
And to even make it interesting, he's written, I think, a book with his wife as well.
Oh,
yeah. He's written a book with his wife.
Okay.
How many musicians are able to do that, to be able to write a book and do other things like this, to stay relevant in the system? I mean, so congratulations to Ochame Kwame. We hope that the next 50 years we'll see a lot more from you. And on that note, this is how we end the Hello Africa morning show for today. My name is Philemon Edwards, and I did this today with...
And I am Isabella Tete Ahenakwa. We are hoping to see you again next week, same time. And follow us on our social media handles at Association of African Universities, both on Facebook and YouTube. And don't forget, this episode is sponsored by Vena Purified Water and Biko Drinks. See you again.
This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.